Hello and welcome to my channel. This is your host, and today we are going to be doing the history of Hungary from its birth to present day. In under 7 minutes. Hungary has one of the oldest continuous cultures in Europe, with roots that can be traced back to the 8th century. Its people called themselves Magyar, or Magna, which was thought to mean son of the dragon. According to legend, these nomadic horsemen migrated west from the Urals and settled in the area of the Carpathian Basin around the 9th century. They were first mentioned by Arab geographers, who described them as fierce fighters. By the late 9th century, several Magyar tribes had united and converted to Christianity under King Stephen I, was crowned in 1000. His successors would rule over a kingdom that stretched from the Adriatic to the Tisza River. In the High Middle Ages, Hungary was known for its strong kings and powerful queens. Louis the Saint was a renowned warrior while his wife Elizabeth became a Christian martyr. The Mongol invasion led by Bata Khan devastated the country in the early 13th century, but the Hungarians soon recovered and even managed to push further into the Balkans. By the end of the century, they controlled most of modern Romania and Serbia. However, the Battle of Karansabes against the advancing Ottoman Turks marked the end of Hungarian expansion. During the Ottoman Wars, Hungary became a battlefield between the two empires. Although the Ottomans occupied much of western Hungary, including Budapest, they never fully conquered it. Instead, they divided the country into 3 parts, which were ruled by 3 different branches of the royal family. This period saw the rise of the Habsburg dynasty, which would dominate Central Europe for centuries. In the meantime, Ottoman pressure forced the Hungarians to seek help from the Poles. In 1526, King Louis II was defeated and drowned at the Battle of Mohacs, which led to the Habsburg occupation of Buda and the establishment of a Habsburg-Ottoman dual monarchy. Meanwhile, the 16th century brought about religious changes across Europe. The Protestant Reformation reached Hungary, where it found fertile ground among the nobility, who resented the growing power of the Habsburgs. The Ottoman Empire also took advantage of this situation, offering the Hungarian throne to Sultan Suleiman, magnificent in exchange for military support against the Habsburgs. However, this plan failed when Ferdinand I was elected king instead. From there, Hungary would become a site of constant warfare between the Habsburgs and the Ottomans, with both sides trying to gain the upper hand. In 1683, the Ottomans laid siege to Vienna, but their attempt to capture the city failed. This marked a turning point in the Ottoman-Habsburg rivalry, after which the latter gained the upper hand. By the end of the 17th century, the Habsburgs had recaptured most of Hungary, and the Ottoman presence in Europe was reduced to just a small part of modern-day Ukraine. Over the next century, Hungary's population grew significantly. Thanks to the introduction of new farming technologies and a warmer climate, the economic and cultural center of the empire shifted towards Vienna. In the meantime, the French Revolution inspired Hungarians to demand more rights and representation in government. The Esztergom Constitution of 1848 was the first constitution of modern Hungary. It established a parliament and granted more rights to the nobility. However, the Habsburgs soon revoked it and suppressed a subsequent national revolution. Following their defeat, Hungarians went into exile in France, where they spent the next 50 years planning for a comeback. In 1866, the Austro-Hungarian Compromise established a dual monarchy between Austria and Hungary. Each state had its own parliament, government, and army, but they shared a monarch and a foreign policy. As a result of this agreement, Hungary began to acquire more territories, including Transylvania, Subotica, and Slavonia. During World War I, Hungary fought alongside Germany, and the Austro-Hungarian army suffered heavy casualties. Nevertheless, the peace treaties that ended the war were favorable to Hungary. It kept all of its territorial gains and even received parts of Czechoslovakia and Romania. This situation did not last long, however, because the Treaty of Trianon deprived Hungary of 70% of its territory and 60% of its population. The Great Depression hit Hungary hard, causing widespread poverty and discontent. As a result, many Hungarians turned to extremist political parties. In 1938, World War II began with Germany's invasion of Poland. A year later, Hungary joined the conflict on the side of the Axis powers. The following year, German troops occupied Hungary and made the country a protectorate of Nazi Germany. After the war, Hungary became a Soviet satellite state. In 1949, it was declared a People's Republic, and its economy was reorganized according to Soviet patterns. Despite these changes, the Hungarians enjoyed more freedoms than other Eastern Bloc nations. For example, they were allowed to travel abroad and even switch jobs without permission. However, this relative freedom was short-lived. In 1956, students demonstrated against the government, demanding reforms and an end to the communist system. The Hungarian Revolution caught the world's attention, and some Western countries offered their support. But Moscow refused to negotiate and sent troops to put down the uprising. Although the revolution was crushed, it left a lasting impact on Hungarian society. In the following decades, the country began to distance itself from the Soviet Union. In 1968, it introduced a reform program aimed at decentralizing the economy and giving workers more autonomy. Despite these reforms, Hungary remained a communist state until 1989, when it experienced a peaceful transition to democracy. In the meantime, the country's economy continued to grow, and it became one of the wealthiest nations in Europe. Today, Hungary is a modern democratic state and a member of the European Union. Its economy is based on services and industry, and its people enjoy a high standard of living. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. Your support helps me create more videos like this one. See you next time. Bye.